and welcome back to the Rugby Connection podcast. As always, for the fans, by the fans. Today we are covering champions, finalists, and news from the rugby world. But before we get onto all of that, I'm joined by my partner in crime, Murray. How you doing?
I'm okay. It's been a busy week.
Yes.
As a dad, more than anything. So yeah, but
I'm not subject to those duties, thank God.
Not yet.
Not yet. I have to, a while till that. I have been suffering from an old chest infection though, which has been ideal. Yeah, and unfortunately, I've had to go to work with it because we're understaffed at the moment. So a chest infection whilst working has been, magnifique.
And watch us go back into isolation now.
Yeah, all because of my chest infection.
It only takes one person. Anyway, rugby. You said magnifique. Let's start.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
What a game. On the Saturday night, we had the top 14 final. Toulouse versus La Rochelle. What a game it was. Plenty of lead changes. Possibly, the commentator was saying possibly one of the greatest top 14 finals ever. I can't really say because neither me or Murray have watched much top 14 in our time. But I think after that, it's going to have to become a regular viewing because wow, oh wow. It ends 29-26 in favor of Toulouse, becoming 22-time champions.
I had to this
week. The top 14. 22 titles.
You know what's crazy? I'm not saying I have anything to do with it, but it's nice to think that way. So I did a video. If you follow me on TikTok, I do combined 15s, blah, blah, blah. Did the match day combined, and it was Romain Ntamack versus Anton Hastoy. And I went, you know what? I'm going to back Hastoy because Ntamack's really not feeling it this season.
You say that. We'll get onto that because that was the miracle of the match. Romain Ntamack taking Toulouse's hopes and dreams of winning the title into his own hands, carrying the team on his own back. And in what was it, with 2 minutes to go? In fact, on Flash Score here, it says scored on the 79th minute. I think it was like 78-30 or something. Romain Ntamack goes in for an absolutely sensational solo try. Wow.
60 meters, 90 seconds left on the clock, and Romain just goes, we've got this, boys. It's all good. And just runs.
Just chill. But I think he was the perfect person to do it because he had cocked up not long before.
Yes.
Behind. They had a penalty in La Rochelle's 22. All they had to do was kick it, for the 5 meter line out of a relatively simple kick, a fly half, the caliber of Romain Ntamack. It should be a walk in the park. He kicks it dead. He kicks it straight dead. Yeah, absolute heartbreak. Looking at the clock and the way La Rochelle have been playing, you're thinking, right, La Rochelle have won this. Romain Ntamack, in fact, you can see he's almost tearing up to that mistake. He is absolutely gutted with himself. But a couple of minutes later, he absolutely makes up for it.
He did indeed. And just what a way to, not just in the league, just any big game, what a way to win that. They always say the big games make the big players rise to the occasion, and oh my God, Romain rise to the occasion.
You know what really made it stand out for me? Just how wow factor it was. I was watching this with my grandfather, and he is not an avid rugby watcher. He knows the Springboks, and that's about it. He didn't even know the French played rugby. But we were watching this game, and as Romain Ntamack broke through, scored that try, even my grandfather was like, wow. That's all. That's all that needs to be said about it. But
You know who didn't take it well?
credit, obviously, heartbreak for them. Never won the title. This was their golden opportunity. Listen, their year's not exactly gone to waste because they are European champions, but a double would have been nice and something that they haven't been able to achieve. Old Anton Hastoy, how do we think he performed? A few missed kicks that.
I think people forget that it's actually Hastoy's first season with La Rochelle.
Yeah.
Or first starting season, sorry. Because he didn't get a sniff last year because he had an EOS. He's now obviously with Toulon, but you know what? He learns from it.
Yeah.
I hope players that strong, especially with we were discussing the mindset in the build up to the game. The mindset around the team, Hastoy should be back fairly quickly.
Oh, 100%.
But you know who didn't take it very well?
Who?
Ronan O'Gara.
No.
He did not take it well. He went, I don't agree that it was a great Toulouse side. I could accept defeat if they scored 4 good tries, but that's not what we saw.
Yes, I saw the article. Ronan O'Gara basically saying we lost to an average Toulouse team. I have to disagree with them there because how you can call, again, we've spouted it so many times, a Roman Untamak, an Anto Dupont, Thomas Ramos, Chocobares, how are you going to call that an average side? And talking about old Thomas Ramos, his golden boot, is really what kept Toulouse in the running. Because it was 13-13 at halftime. And then Huini Antonio goes over 5 minutes into the second half for a try. Hastoy converts that. So La Rochelle are 7 points adrift. Ramos, golden boot, kicks 3 fairly quick succession penalties, gets them back into a point. Anton Hastoy kicks a couple. There's the 26 points. Then obviously Roman Untamak goes over and Ramos converts that. But I think the value of having, and everyone knows this, but I think it goes for granted sometimes, the value of having somebody who can guarantee you those 3 points when you get the opportunities. A lot of the times we talk about, in hindsight of matches, where a team might have kicked for the corner and not been able to convert into points. I think the real showing of a winning team and a title winning team is a team who can go into your territory, go into your 22 and more often than not come away with points. And that's what Toulouse mostly did.
No, I agree. It's going to sound very contradictory to myself. I'm a big fan of attacking rugby. Like, I would love kick for touch all the time. Get a line out, drive. But if it's a final,
yes,
just take the points. Whatever points they're on offer, take them.
Knockout stage rugby is a different breed of rugby. The intensity is high, and I mean, listen, this game didn't disappoint.
No, they're not. It was fantastic. We're going to actually cover top 14 next season now.
Yes, I think we're going to have to because we'll talk about it a bit. I'm sure later on and definitely in future episodes next season as well. But the top 14, we were talking about it a bit in our little individual chat and whatnot. They are leagues above the other competitions of the world in terms of how they operate, the structure, the attendance, getting fans involved. What was the average? 16,000.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
They average 16,000 fans. That is like the utmost highest standard of something like the Premiership or the URC. Very rarely will we see the Prem or the URC go into like the 20 sort of thousand figures.
Unless they do like the special games, so like the national team. But to me, that doesn't count. And again, we will plug.
We're talking about an average where we're talking about even the sort of lesser known teams like the Pau, the Brive, the Perpignan, the Bayonne. average all throughout the competition, throughout the regular season and the knockouts. You know, you wouldn't see a 16,000 attendance for a Zebre versus Benetton match, with all due respect.
Of all the teams to pick, that's the one you just went for.
Yes, I know.
But well done Toulouse for number 22.
Yep.
Shall we move on down under for Super Rugby semi-finals?
Yes.
And a thrilling encounter, and we had a thumping.
Let's talk about the thumping first, because I was in the car driving to my chiropractor because I'm an elderly man of 23 years of age.
Sorry.
And I need to see a chiropractor. But I was on the way and I had this game playing through my car radio, just had my phone connected and the game was playing. Even listening to the game, I could just tell this is just abuse. Crusaders in a semi-final. Bear in mind, throughout the whole week leading up to this, they were hyping up this as a Clash of the Titans, an absolute nitty-gritty affair. 52-15 to the boys from Christchurch.
Yeah. There were 30 up at half time.
Looked absolutely dismal. I did rewatch the highlights and I managed to catch the majority of the second half. I was watching it in McDonald's. I sat in McDonald's for 40 minutes watching the second half. The Blues were absolutely dismal, Murray.
So see next season when I say I think the Chiefs are the Blues are about to start cooking.
I'm never listening to you.
I don't know why you believe me that hard. I'm actually more disappointed than you. I purely went on the Blues just to change things up.
Can I just talk? And we usually pick out players for praise, but I want to pick out some players that just disappointed me for the Blues.
Okay, this is a first. We've never outed disappointment.
I'm not outing them, and I'm not saying they're bad players. Just in this game, a semi-final game, a game where you need to show up, they didn't show up. Number one, Caleb Clark.
Yes.
And actually, I've seen with the recent All Blacks training squad announcement, which we'll get onto.
That makes sense.
People calling for his, actually, we'll talk about it after we look at these two results. So, people sort of calling for his head and saying he shouldn't be there, especially after that performance. I can only describe it as lazy.
I don't know.
It didn't look like he wanted to be there. Like, if I could describe his performance in that game, and to be honest, and it's not the first time I've noticed this, but a lot of other games, he'll do something spectacular, which will sort of take the attention away. But in this game, he was just lazy.
It happens. I think what the bigger issue is, and it's not exactly Caleb Clark, it's more the fact that they've announced, and we'll get into it again, Sean Stevenson of the Chiefs, a top performing team. He is scoring for fun, is in the squad, but he's in injury cover.
He's injury cover for Talea,
who's another informed player. I've always said informed. I like Caleb Clark, but if he's not informed, maybe don't pick him.
Yeah, we'll talk about old Stevenson when we get to the Chiefs result. But I mean, Dalton Papali, another big name who I thought, although, gave his best go, just wasn't enough. Looked very flat. Didn't look like he could do anything. Bowden Barrett, although I feel like he probably shone the brightest a few moments in that absolutely dismal performance for the Blues. I think the starting number 10 jersey for the All Blacks has to go to Richie Mo'unga. As much as I love Bowden Barrett and the player that he is and has been, he's in my top 5 players of all time. As a Bok fan, Bowden Barrett is in my top 5 players of all time. Richie Mo'unga at the moment is, it's between McKenzie and Mo'unga, and I think Mo'unga right now is the guy, but obviously all will be revealed next week.
Yes, there will be.
Will Jordan. Faianganuku.
Leicester Fainanuku. How they have let him sign for Toulon, I will never know.
Yeah, New Zealand have lost a big one there.
You have shot yourself in the foot, essentially.
But the other Barrett brother, old Scott Barrett, the skipper.
What's the other one?
The other Barrett, quality in the line out, in the breakdown. And I never really saw Barrett as a ball carrying option. But I think the whole Crusaders team were just running rampant through that Blues defense. Yeah, it was actually a very disappointing game.
It did not live up to the hype.
Regardless of the winner, I don't care that the Crusaders won. Congratulations to them, but I would just the Blues to put up a fight. That was a semi-final.
Yeah, a semi-final, yeah. It was like when, I'm sorry for mentioning this to people if they support this team, it was like when Leinster went against Glasgow.
In last year's quarterfinal of the URC. What was it? 17.
Complete waste of time. You should have just gave them the bye. And I'm not saying you should have given them the bye, but come on.
71-14 and a 52-15.
I was hyped for it. They were putting like the old Carlos Spencer clips and everything up. Oh.
However, a game that was better and a game that was very tight.
Not better, just tight, more tight. It wasn't better. It was a bit meh.
I enjoyed it. And I thought I did enjoy it. Okay. Chiefs versus Brumbies. It ends 19 points to 6 in favor of the Chiefs. The Chiefs getting not run close, but not getting the runaway games that we've seen them in the regular season in these playoff spots. Yeah. First half ends 6 points to 3. So, a very closely fought first half, very scrappy game. And then the second half goes 13-3 in favor of the Chiefs, obviously getting their try from Brodie Retallick right in the dying stages of the match. From then on, all kicking. Damien McKenzie, again, golden boot, doesn't miss. And I thought that game, again, he was looking good, but I still stand that Richie Mwanga just going off those semi-finals, absolutely takes that 10 jersey for the All Blacks.
There's not really much to say.
There's not much to say. I was happy to see him, I thought he played a good game. I have a soft spot for old Noah Loloseo. I think he needs to be given a bit more time in the 10 jersey for the Wallabies. And I think hopefully Eddie Jones will give him his time in the boots. But obviously he kicks all of the Brumbies points. Super Rugby not really living up to the standards this weekend in the semi-finals, really.
Just a bit meh.
But we do go on to a pretty tasty final.
Yes, we do. We have the Chiefs versus the Crusaders. I'm backing Chiefs. I'm backing the Chiefs purely because I don't want another Crusaders title. And I'm not being rude. Crusaders, again, fantastic team. Probably the best team in world rugby, club side. Definitely in the debate, for sure.
If we're going all time.
Probably all time as well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying like currently, no. All time, yeah, I could see them if you're going all time.
But will this be 8 titles on the bounce?
8 on the bounce, I believe.
Come on, no, it gets boring at that point.
8 or 9.
Let the Chiefs get a title. Let them celebrate like it's 2013 and just go for it.
Playing devil's advocate.
No.
Crusaders win. Scott Robinson has his final season as another victory. and goes into the All Black setup as the absolute, ace card as a coach.
He is the ace card, and
yes, but if we look at let's look at Wayne Pivac. Weird comparison, but when he was coaching the Scarlets, they had a very, very, very good season. He got appointed as the Wales head coach after the next season. That next season, the Scarlets absolutely plummeted and had one of their worst seasons ever in the Pro 14. And then Wayne Pivac went on to Wales, and we all know what happened then.
You try to tell me Crusaders are going to crumble next year?
I'm just saying.
To be fair, they might.
I'm just saying, if they win again, and then Scott Robinson goes off to the All Blacks as pretty much an undefeated coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I am looking forward to, and maybe I'm just nostalgia is hitting me, but I'm looking forward to the All Blacks being an absolute dominant force again.
I am, and I'm not.
Just because you haven't beaten them yet.
We've never beaten them, and I keep convincing myself that we keep getting closer. And that has actually been true. We have been getting closer, but I don't know what this could be like under Razor.
Yeah. If Razor's All Blacks play with anything like the ruthlessness and the efficiency of the Crusaders teams of his past few seasons, then World Rugby, Ireland and France can say goodbye to those top spots.
You're good?
Excuse me.
Jeez.
But
sticking with New Zealand and the All Blacks, Ian Foster, still currently head coach, has named the squad for the Rugby Championship.
Yes.
5 new players, not capped. We have Sammy Penny Finau, Dallas McLeod.
Dallas McLeod was an out there one.
Yeah.
Did not expect to see him there, but I can't say that I'm disappointed. I'm quite happy to see him there. Definitely deserved after the season he's had.
We love a bolter.
Exactly.
Amoni Narawa, who has been on fire, but we've been praising Sean Stevenson. He's kind of been doing his own thing on the other side for the Chiefs. Cam Roigard and Tamatai Williams.
Old Cammy Roigard, definitely in there for the All Blacks 9 jersey. He's been that all-out attacking scrum half throughout the Super Rugby season. I think looking at his stats, he has the best strike record of any scrum half, the best attacking stats of any scrum half. Then you've got sort of a Finley Christie in the middle, and then you've got an Aaron Smith who has the most passes. So they've got a good balance. They've got the Aaron Smith, the cool head, the calm and collected. They've got the Finley Christie. He's been there. He's been in the setup. He's a quality player. And then you've got a Cammy Roigard who is an absolute pocket rocket and just wants to play.
And he's ridiculously young.
Yes.
You're older than him.
22 he is. Yeah, that's it.
Cammy Roigard.
Yes.
Disgusting behaviour. But, again, apart from the Sean Stevenson thing that we touched on earlier, I really have no complaints with the team. Not
too many surprises, like I said. The Dallas McLeod, the Roigard was a nice surprise. The Stevenson not being in the full training squad was a surprise. I didn't expect that. There was no big surprise, really, because Tonga took all that credit during the week with their squad. Yes. Oh my goodness. So if you've been living under a rock for the last few months, World Rugby changed the rules that if you were capped by a country and haven't been capped by said country within 3 years of your last cap, you could change your allegiance to a country of your birth or your parents' birth. So, spoiler, all the Pacific Islander boys are going home
because oh my god. So I have it here. Somebody's put it up. I can't be bothered reading the whole team out, but somebody's done a nice 15 for me, which is lovely, nice and easy. You could have, so we'll go from fullback to close head. Israel Folau, love him or hate him. Israel Folau, Charles Piatow. You then get Malachi Fikatoa and Peter Aki as your centres. You've got Solomon Kata that was playing great for Exeter Chiefs. He was like the shining light in Exeter Chiefs season this year. On the wing, your halfbacks are Sonatani Tukalua. You have William Havili of Moana Pacifica at 10. The back row, you have Vaya Fafita from Scarlets on the blind. You have Solomon Funaki on the open side. You've got our boy, the big Tongan of Glasgow, Sione Vailanu at number 8. The second row, Adam Coleman, former Wallaby. You have Samuel Lucy, so another Scarlet.
Yep.
And
Sam
then
Lousy,
the front row, you would have Big Ben Tamafuina.
Yep.
Because you need Big Ben there.
Yes, you need Big Ben.
You would have Samuel Amoli at hooker, and you would have Siegfried Fissy Aholi. Oh my God, that's the only concern. Genuinely, I read the whole team, and from what I remember, it's just Lewis Head that I'm like,
I think that the URC has been the best thing for Tongans. You've got a Vaya Fafita.
Sorry, just to name
Sione Vailanu. You've got a Sam Lousy. All of them have been absolute standout players in the URC.
Yep.
You've got players coming back to, I suppose, not really coming back to Tonga, but defecting to Tonga, like a Falau and like a Coleman.
Sticking with the Pacific, because we could talk about how good this Tongan team could be all day.
Yeah.
It is scary, but another Pacific island has drafted in some players. Samoa.
Indeed.
Now, I mentioned one last week that was rumoured, and Christian Leali'ifano. He is in that squad. Christian Leali'ifano is now going to be playing for Manu Samoa, and I absolutely love that thought. You've also got former All Black Charlie Falmawina, Stephen Luatua, and Lima Sapawanga also in the Samoan team.
It's ridiculous because this is only going to make the World Cup more interesting because you've got these big names playing for these tier 2 nations. And in fact, Tonga actually so confident that they have essentially called out the Springboks.
Yes.
Tongan head coach saying that, or I think the news article read that Tonga's All Blacks, basically the players who had rejoined Tonga, are targeting the Springboks and are saying, look out for the upset. We're coming for blood.
You know what? I love that. Not just
I love it. And listen, I think rugby needs more of this.
You need the smack talk.
I think rugby needs more of this spark. As a Springbok supporter, obviously we've got old Razzie Erasmus, the big mouth coach of the century. We love him to bits. I will always love Razzie. But I like seeing a bit of spark from other coaches, and especially these tier 2 nations saying, listen, watch out. We got some pretty good players. We're not going to be a walk in the park.
I love it. It's what we need.
Like, the thing is, the odds are that they're probably not going to beat the Springboks, but Japan have done it back in 2015.
Here's a quick one for you, just for fun. Based off that team I've just rattled off from Tonga, that side are the Japanese team that beat South Africa.
If we're talking about just pure names,
just pure names.
The Tongan side, because that Japanese side that beat South Africa, they didn't have any big names up until that point. They didn't have any players playing in, foreign competition. They didn't have a Vaya Fafita. They didn't have a Sam Lousy. They didn't have and Izzy Folau. They didn't have a Charles Piutau. They didn't have all these players, who have established themselves in the Premiership, in the Pro 14, now the URC. So if I were to go head to head, I'd go for that Tongan side. But if you were to say that the 2019 Japanese team that beat Ireland and Scotland, that would be a closer one.
Okay. Or maybe I combine 15 one day. Who knows? Do you know who Tonga's first game of the World Cup is?
Scott, no, because South Africa and Scotland have each other first. Is it Romania?
It's Ireland.
Is it Ireland? That would be an upset.
Romania is Tonga's last game. Imagine if everything goes right. Hypothetically, they narrow defeat to one of us.
No, they beat all of us and then they lose to Romania.
Perfect. Love it.
Imagine if Romania and Tonga qualify.
Don't do that.
We can all go out. We can all go out and we can all get drunk and cry, and it'd be brilliant. But anyway,
you know why I'm crying this week? Because there is a lot of news this week. Kieran Crowley's not signing on as head coach. He's not. Actually, no. Sorry. It's not that he didn't want to. The board didn't want to give him a new contract.
But listen, I like Kieran Crowley, quality coach. He's done amazing things with that Italian team. But how many years now have we been saying Italy are going to get there soon?
Yeah, but he's only been there 2 years. He's not been there the whole time, but he's been there the time they've been fairly impressive.
Yeah.
And I'm not, again, no disrespect.
It depends who's taking the coaching role.
They have announced that. I just need to find it. He played for Italy. He played for Argentina and Stade Francais. I'm just trying to find out who it is. I forgot his name. He was the Stade Francais head coach this year.
Yes. I do. Again, I have him in my head.
Without being disrespectful, I can't really judge him. I've never seen him coach, so I don't know.
Top 14 much.
He might be what Italian rugby needs, but right now, I don't know. Sticking technically here with Italian rugby, Monty Ioane.
Yes.
He is leaving Melbourne Rebels. He is set to make a return to Europe.
He's only been there for a season.
Yeah, he's joining up with Semi Randrandra in the top 14 and signing for Lyon.
Ooh, a Monty Ioane. And should put him back in the running for the Italian selection.
Yes. And sticking with coaching switch up, because like I said, there's a lot of news. Bath have appointed former Scotland head coach Andy Robinson and ex-Scotland forward Stevie Scott to their coaching team. I'm not saying anything about Andy Robinson. The less I say, the better. Stevie Scott was all right. I remember Stevie Scott playing.
Bath are definitely building something for next season. Bath are... But you know what I can see? I can see them signing all these players, bringing in new coaches, happy days, and then just having a shocking season.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Anyway, I'm going to talk about Currie Cup.
I was trying to do so much news and not... That's fine, carry on.
I'm talking about Currie Cup. We had the semi-finals, heartbreak for me anyway. We had the semi-finals of the Currie Cup. The Cheetahs versus the Bulls in Bloemfontein. The Cheetahs do the double over the Bulls 2 weeks in a row. They played each other in the final game of the regular season and then straight into the semi-finals, played each other again. The Cheetahs winning this time 39-10 against the boys from Pretoria. And then my Sharks at home, they can't get it done against the Pumas, a team who we've done the double over in the regular season. 20 points to 26. Absolutely shocking. With 3 minutes left on the clock, we need a converted try. What does Kerwin Bosch decide to do? He decides to play kick tennis. he decides to play. He decides to play kick tennis with Tinas de Beer and Devin Williams, and Tinas de Beer and Devin Williams are better at kick tennis than Kerwin Bosch. And Lionel Cronje, to be honest, he wasn't. He wasn't exactly a star fly half that game. But the Pumas are technically, well, they are my hometown team. They are the team who play out of Nelspruit, which is the humble little town that I was born in.
Surely that should be your team.
Huh?
Surely that should be your team.
The only reason the Sharks are my team is from Super Rugby, because the Pumas only play in the Curry Cup. And I didn't watch the Curry Cup when I was younger because you couldn't get a hold of it very readily because I didn't have the funds for all streaming services.
Okay.
So yeah, basically I used to just binge watch Super Rugby highlights when I was younger, and the Sharks, the Sharks back in the day were my team of choice. But now for the Curry Cup final, I am a through devout
glory hunter.
I'm allowed to. I was born there.
Oh, you're a glory hunter.
Team. I'm allowed to. They are literally my hometown team.
Don't care. You've just sat there and said you've been a Sharks fan for as long as you can remember.
I don't know what you're on about, because Murray, I'm a Pumas fan. I don't know about you, buddy, but
okay.
Just give me a second there. Just fucking. Okay. This is gonna be really hard because I'm wearing a very baggy jersey already.
Do you want the jersey of the week while we're there?
Hang on.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
there's a tight squeeze. There we go. We got
I've always been a Pumas fan. I don't know who the Sharks are. Never heard of them personally.
Okay.
Yeah, Pumas. Pumas till I die. But yeah, actually, my jersey of the week. Let me take this one back off because
for God's sake.
That was a tight fit. Yeah, actually, get rid of that Puma scum jersey. Jersey of the week. I suppose I'll start because I've already revealed mine. But I am wearing mine. I wasn't supposed to be wearing mine. I was going to wear that Chiefs jersey, but I wanted to wear it because I haven't worn it yet. I have got myself a pretty, I'd say a retro. I suppose it counts as a retro Springboks jersey. It is the Springboks jersey from the year that I was born. The Springboks jersey from 2000. Yes, I'm a millennium baby. Yeah. The old Nike kits, they're coming back.
They are.
Kits coming soon for the World Cup. Can't wait. But yeah, I mean, look at that big old South African flag on the arm. Yeah, it's just cool. It's just really cool. No big sponsor on it, no MTN. It's just a green and gold jersey. It's beautiful.
Quite nice. I do like it. That's
my jersey of the week. Murray, you have got a jersey of the week for me this time.
Because I'm actually at home this week.
Yes.
My lovely fiance picked this one out. I said, pick a random top that's hanging up. Doesn't need explaining. She gave me an explanation, but it's fine. But she gave me a rugby league jersey. But it is the Indigenous All-Stars. There we go.
That is a classy jersey.
And on the back as well, the design continues.
Rachel's got some good taste in jerseys.
We're just gonna chuck her under the bus for it, because the reason she wanted this is because of the turtle design there, and she has a tattoo similar on about the same area. So there we go.
Wow.
There you go.
That.
Nice reason behind it. Nothing too daft.
Yeah. Jersey of the week. Should we do game of the week really quickly?
Random game. There isn't really random any. This whole
my random game of the week comes from Major League Rugby. The bottom table clash. The two literal underdogs. Get it? Because they're both dogs. The Dallas Jackals versus the Chicago Hounds. An absolute arm wrestle of a game between two teams who struggle to get wins anywhere else. 28-29 it finishes in favor of the Chicago Hounds. Yeah, absolute arm wrestler match. I actually watched the highlights of this match, and it was just tit for tat, tit for tat. A game of quarters, I would say.
Because it's an American sport.
Yeah, why not? I like it. But yeah, the Dallas Jackals, they're doing better than they did last season. Last season, they went absolutely winless. They did have a horrible situation where a lot of their team was involved in a plane crash, but I think it was either a plane crash or a bus crash.
Okay.
And the Chicago Hounds newly added this season, but yeah, pretty good match. Good win for the Chicago Hounds. Hopefully, these two teams will go into the latter seasons actually competing. But they have very nice kits, the Dallas Jackals, turquoise and black, very nice. But, yeah, that's my random game of the week.
I hate myself because there's nothing on. Mine's is from the MLR as well.
Woo! MLR!
And I'm going to go podcast bias because we've had him on the show. I'm going for Old Glory DC, just out of respect to our boy, Danny Tusitala. Getting a big win over Rugby Atlanta, 36-28. There we go. Happy days.
Big dubs all around.
Next week, because there's not much. Next week is the final episode of season 3.
Yes, it is.
We are done. We are finito because there's not much after next week.
And we're really, really, really tired.
We are really tired. But
really
you know what? The interviews will kind of just come and go. If a guest is a free, we'll put it out.
Yeah. But the regular episodes for this season are over until
the World Cup. A week before the World Cup, because we need to predict.
Before the World Cup, yeah. Where in that week before the World Cup, we'll just quickly cover everything that's happened, and then we'll get into the World Cup.
And then me and Cam won't speak for the first month and a half of season 4 because we're in the same pool. So
that's true. The podcast will just be us staring bullet holes into each other's heads,
passionately breathing each other. What? Nothing.
Sorry, what?
Nothing. I said nothing.
Took a turn that I wasn't expecting.
Anyway, speaking of interviews, because I was talking about interviews a minute ago, we have got a latest one. We are back on the Sevens circuit with Demi Hayes from Australia Sevens. She has won pretty much everything there is to win.
Why do I have a crush on so many the Australian Sevens girls?
Are they all? Can I name them? I think I can name them. The ones you like.
Go on.
Friends of the show, Maddie and Tegan Levi.
Yeah.
Demi Hayes, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And Charlotte Caslick.
Yeah.
Is there any more?
Probably.
Oh. Now you know why I do the interviews, not
to be sitting there drooling.
But yes, Demi, great chat. It was a short and sweet one, but fully focused because even though we're finishing, the Sevens girls have just started pre-season. Disgusting to think of. Because all eyes are on the Olympics. God, we've got that next year as well. 2024
Olympics, bloody hell.
And then, yeah, but great chat with Demi because, like I said, she's won multiple World Series. She's won the Sevens World Cup. She's done it in South Africa last year. She has a Commonwealth gold medal. It's just the only thing she hasn't got is the Olympics.
She needs it.
So you could tell what she's driving for. But yeah, great chat. She's absolutely lovely. This week, we shall see. We have got there's some. Again,
I know who it is, but
I'm not trying to tease anyone. It's very hard to try and set a date and time and then do the.
There's not busy people that we interview. It's not like we're interviewing just Jeff down the road who's unemployed and doesn't friends.
Jeff is a lovely. I don't know.
Jeff's a lovely bloke. I don't like Jeff.
We're going off the rails here, but we are on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're all on Instagram. The girls are still with us, believe it or not. They're just they're ridiculously busy people.
Yes, because they're big time.
Well, Anja's a chiropractor, so there you go.
Maybe I'll start go seeing Anja instead, because actually I travel far enough for my chiropractor already.
She's in like other country.
I can't be asked to travel the borders.
Fair. But yeah, Anya's a very busy person. Jemma's famous, essentially. Jemma's pretty famous.
Hanging about with rugby players and stuff.
Rubbing shoulders with like Emily Scarra and Shauna Brown and all that on a week-to-week.
Really?
Usual bog standard stuff, you know.
I mean, I bumped into Nigel Owens in the shop once, so you know, have that, Jemma.
I'm not rubbing my flaws in it. I'm friends with Max, so.
That's nice.
And Byron still. Throw back to a few.
He and Byron are still mates.
For now. Till next year when you do it again.
Until the Sharks demolished Connacht.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Yeah. YouTube, Spotify, we're all on Instagram. We are all on TikTok. I had to double check that. I am on LinkedIn, but I speak on behalf of the pod. I promote the show on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And yeah, join us next week for the season finale. We might even do some awards because it's the end of the season.
The RCP end of season awards, where I will be dubbed the ultimate rugby king.
We will have a discussion for nominations and put them out on Instagram for votes, because we did it for the end of year awards, which is similar to the World Rugby Awards.
Yeah, but these are strictly RCP season awards.
End of season awards, August to June. Jesus.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's been a long season.
We did NPC this year.
We did do NPC this season. That's mad. That is the same season as right now. We did NPC. We've covered 2 Kiwi competitions effectively in one season.
If this is the first time you're listening to us, we covered NPC, URC, Premiership, Super Rugby, Challenge Cup, Champions Cup, Autumn Nations, Six Nations, TikTok Six Nations.
Yep.
And Super Rugby.
Curry Cup and Top 14 now as well.
Top 14, 12 leagues, and we've sprinkled in some sevens. We've introduced some MLR games, some Super Rugby Americas games, with rugby a random game of the week.
Japanese League One games.
You do not need to come anywhere else for your rugby.
No, we just cover about everything.
Everything. That might be the new slogan. We cover everything.
Yes.
If there is an egg-shaped, ball-like object being kicked, we know about it. There you go.
Disclaimer, we do not cover American football or rugby league.
Not yet.
We are not covering American football. I refuse.
Not proper.
Absolute trash sport.
Anyway,
thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you. We rambled on, but we made it, and we will see you next week for the season finale and the end of year awards. Bye!